You open your mailbox. There it is, an envelope with the Department of Treasury, Internal Revenue Service in the return address. Your heart races. Your mind goes to worst case scenarios. Stop. Take a deep breath. The reality of IRS notices. The IRS sends out hundreds of millions of notices every year. The vast majority are routine, a math correction, a request for documentation, a reminder that you owe a balance. Most IRS notices are not audits. Most are not fraud allegations. And most can be resolved by responding correctly with the right documentation. The worst thing you can do, far worse than any mistake on your return, is ignore the notice. Ignoring an IRS letter escalates the situation from manageable to serious. Always respond. IRS notices have a response deadline, typically 30 to 60 days from the notice date, not the date you received it. Mark the deadline the moment you open the envelope and do not miss it. 5 things to do the moment you receive a notice. Do not panic. Most notices are routine. Read the entire notice carefully, all pages, all attachments. Identify the notice number. Print it in the right corner, starting with CP or LT. Notice the response deadline and calendar it immediately. Gather your tax return and supporting documents for the year in question. IRS scams to watch for. Real IRS notices always arrive by US mail, never by email, text, or social media. The IRS does not call you threatening immediate arrest. They do not demand gift card payments. They do not ask for credit card information over the phone. If you receive a call or email claiming to be the IRS demanding immediate payment, it is a scam. Hang up. The IRS will always send written notice first before any collection action. Important. If you receive a threatening phone call claiming to be the IRS demanding immediate payment or threatening arrest, it is a scam. Hang up immediately. Report it to the Treasury Inspector General at 1-800-366-4484. Automated underreporter notice. This is one of the most common notices Americans receive. It means the IRS computer found a discrepancy between what was reported on your return and what third parties, employers, banks, clients reported. You're not being accused of fraud. The IRS is proposing a change. Read the notice carefully and compare the IRS version of your income with yours. If the IRS is right, perhaps you forgot $1,099, pay the additional tax plus interest. If the IRS is wrong, maybe you did the report that income correctly. Respond in writing with documentation. You have 60 days to respond. Balance due notices. These are balance due reminders sent in escalating urgency. CP 501 is a gentle first reminder. CP 503 is a second notice. CP 504 is a serious final notice before levy action. At this point, the IRS is informing you they intend to cease state tax refunds to satisfy your debt. If you receive any of these, respond immediately. Either pay the balance, set up a payment plan, or contact a tax professional to negotiate if you cannot pay in full. Important. CP 504 is a critical notice. Ignoring it can result in the IRS levying your bank accounts, garnishing wages, or filing a federal tax lien. Do not wait. Identity verification. These notices ask you to verify your identity. Typically, because someone else may have filed the return using your social security number, or because your return has characteristics that triggered an identity check. You will need to verify online through irs.gov or by calling the number on the notice. If someone filed fraud and claim using your information, the IRS Identify Protection Specialized Unit will assist you. Final notice of intent to levy. This is serious notice. It means the IRS has been trying to collect a balance and is now formally warning you that they will seize your assets. This is your legal notification required before they can take action. At this point, you have collection due process rights. You can request a CDP hearing within 30 days to dispute the collection action, propose alternatives, or request an installment agreement. Do not ignore this letter. Contact a tax professional immediately if you receive an LT11 income discrepancy notice. Similar to the CP 2000, this notice indicates a discrepancy between your return and IRS records, but it's asking for clarification before proposing any changes. This is actually an early opportunity to provide documentation and resolve the issue before it becomes a formal adjustment. Respond promptly with records showing how you calculated your reported income. Refund being held for review. You filed your return and expected a refund, but instead you got a CP not filed notice saying that your refund is on hold while the IRS reviews your return. This is common and is usually nothing to worry about. Do not call the IRS for 60 days from the notice date. They ask you to wait that long before contacting them. If 60 days pass without resolution, call the Taxpayer Advocate Service. Audit notice, CP 75 or correspondence audit letter. An audit notice will specify which items on your return are being examined or ask for supporting documentation. Read it carefully. Respond only to what's asked. Do not volunteer additional information. Provide documentation organized clearly. Most correspondence audits are resolved without ever meeting an IRS agent in person. For anything between a simple documentation request, professional representation is strongly advised. Where to look up your notice? Every CP or LT notice has a corresponding explanation on the IRS website. Go to irs.gov/notices and search your notice number. You will find an explanation of what it means and general guidance on how to respond. This is a helpful first resource, but for complex notices, work with a professional. The golden rule of IRS responses. Always respond in writing. Even if the notice gives a phone number, follow up your call with a written response sent by certified mail with return receipt. This creates a paper trail providing you a responded on time and with specific information. Never respond by email. The IRS does not accept correspondence by email. Always keep a copy of everything you send. Step-by-step response process. Read the notice in full. Identify exactly what the IRS is asking for. Pull your tax return and supporting documents for the year in question. Determine if the IRS is correct, in which case pay or arrange payment, or incorrect, in which case document your position. Write a clear, professional response letter referencing the notice number, tax year, and your taxpayer ID. Attach copies of supporting documents, never originals. Always keep originals. Send by certified mail with return receipt so you have delivery confirmation. Keep copies of everything, your letter, all attachments, and the certified mail receipt. Note the response deadline on your calendar and follow up if you don't receive acknowledgement within 60 days. If you owe and can't pay. Not being able to pay doesn't mean you should ignore the notice. Contact the IRS or work with taxmerica.co to explore your options. Installment agreement, pay over time in monthly installments. Apply online at irs.gov or with Form 9465, offer in compromise. Settle your tax debt for less than the full amount owed if you qualify based on the inability to pay. Currently not collectible. If you genuinely cannot pay anything, the IRS can temporarily suspend collection. Penalty abatement. First-time penalty abatement is available to taxpayers with a clean compliance history. We can request this for you. Here's a pro tip. First-time penalty abatement, FTA, is one of the most underutilized relief options available. If you've had a clean filing history for the past 3 years, you may be eligible to have failure to file or failure to pay penalties waived. Taxmerica.co requests FTA routinely for qualifying clients. What never to do? Never ignore an IRS notice, even if you think it's wrong. Never lie to the IRS. Inaccurate responses make situations dramatically worse. Never send originals of any documents, only copies. Never respond by email. the IRS doesn't use email for correspondence. Never assume the IRS is right. They make errors too. Always verify. Never agree to pay an amount you cannot verify is correct without reviewing your records. The Taxpayer Bill of Rights. Many people don't know this, but Congress established a formal Taxpayer Bill of Rights that the IRS is legally required to respect. These 10 rights include the right to be informed, the right to quality service, the right to pay no more than the correct amount of tax, the right to challenge the IRS position and be heard, the right to appeal IRS decisions, including through the independent US tax code, the right to finality, the right to privacy, the right to confidentiality, the right to retain representation, and the right to be a fair and just tax system. You can assert these rights at any point in your IRS interaction. Taxpayer Advocate Service. If the IRS process is creating a significant hardship, your refund has been held for months, you can't get a response, or a levy threatens to your ability to pay basic living expenses, the Taxpayer Advocate Service is an independent organization within the IRS that helps taxpayers resolve these issues. They are free, they are powerful, and most people don't know they exist. Call 1-877-777-4778 or find them at taxpayeradvocate.irs.gov. Key takeaways. An IRS notice is not automatically a crisis. Most are routine, but all require a response. Read the notice fully, identify the notice number, the issue, and the response deadline. Never ignore a notice. Non-response escalates the situation significantly. Look up your notice number at irs.gov/notices for an official explanation. Respond in writing by certified mail. Keep copies of everything. If you owe and can't pay, installment agreements and offer in compromise. If you owe and can't pay, installment agreements and offer in compromise options exist. Assert your Taxpayer Bill of Rights. You have them. Use them. For complex notices, audit letters, or levy threats, get professional representation immediately. An IRS letter doesn't have to ruin your day or your year. With the right response and the right team in your corner, almost every IRS situation can be resolved. At taxmerica.co, we handle IRS notices and tax resolution cases every day. If you've received a notice and aren't sure what to do, visit taxmerica.co right now and book a free consultation. We'll review your notice and tell you exactly what your next step is. Subscribe for more practical tax guidance, and I'll see you in the next one. Found this helpful? Like this video and subscribe for weekly US tax tips. Have a question? Drop it in the comments. We read everyone. Ready to get your taxes done right? Book a free 15-minute consultation with our team at taxmerica.co. Link is in description. Thank you.